Good evening and welcome to the December meeting of the Committee of Adjustments. Before we begin, I'll ask for the territorial acknowledgement to be read.
We have gathered in Wilmot Township on the traditional territory of the neutral Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Mississauga peoples. We also want to acknowledge the importance of the Dish with One Spoon Covenant, a peace agreement made between the Indigenous nations before the Europeans arrived. It characterizes our collective responsibility to each other and Mother Earth. We should only take what we need, leave enough for others, and keep the dish clean. By acknowledging this covenant and First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples, we are reminded of our important connection to this land where we live, learn, and work together as a community. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce our committee this evening. Joining virtually is Mr. Miller, Ms. Collier, Mr. Roth, and Ms. Lalonde. My name is, or actually as well, Mr. Cameron Miller, our township planner, is with us. My name is Tyler Bowman, and I am the chair of this committee. We are an independent body appointed by Wilmot Township Council. We have the power to make minor changes to existing zoning regulations and to approve some changes to existing non-conforming uses and to give consent. Each applicant will be notified in writing of the decision within 10 days. With the decision will be instructions on how to appeal. It can be appealed. Any decision made by this committee can be appealed to the Ontario Land Tribunal, who will then hold a meeting and make a final decision. Only the applicant and certain prescribed public agencies can appeal the committee's decision. If the decision on a minor variance is not appealed, it becomes final and binding after 20 days from the date of this meeting. If the decision on a consent is not appealed, it becomes final and binding after 20 days from the date the decision is mailed. The format of this meeting will be as follows. Mr. Miller will introduce the application. The applicant will then be invited to come forward and add any additional information if they choose. Following this, anyone in the audience will have the opportunity to speak for or against the application. And the committee members will then be able to ask the applicant questions, and following that, the committee will make a decision. This evening we have just one application, but I'd like to ask if there are any disclosures of pecuniary interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. Seeing none, I'll ask Mr. Miller to introduce the first application.
Yes, thank you very much. The first and only application tonight is minor variance A16/24, which is concerning 19 Beverly Street in New Dundee. And so this application is proposing to deem the property line abutting Beverly Street to be the front lot line, which would therefore allow for the installation of an in-ground pool. So within the township zoning bylaw, on a corner lot, such as this property, which is located at the corner of Main and Beverly Street in New Dundee, the township zoning bylaw deems the shortest lot line abutting a street to be the front lot line. This is regardless of the orientation of the house or the location of the driveway. And as such, the applicants are seeking to install an in-ground pool, which is technically located in the property's front yard for all intents and purposes. And the township zoning bylaw does not allow for pools to be located in a property's front yard, nor does it allow for sheds or fences above a height greater than 2.5 feet. So again, this application is seeking to essentially swap what is considered to be the exterior side yard and what is considered to be the front yard on this property. As the area that's being contemplated for development is essentially otherwise not developable without additional approvals, staff looked at the potential impact of allowing development in a large section of this property that's serviced by a septic system, and requested that the owner provide a preliminary engineered septic design for the inevitable case that the septic system does fail and does need to be replaced. And so this septic assessment demonstrated that there's adequate space on other areas of the property to replace the septic system should this application be approved and a pool be installed. So rather than amend several regulations to allow for a fence, a shed, and a pool in a front yard, staff are simply proposing to swap their what is deemed to be the front and again what is deemed to be the exterior. There are other regulations in place that will maintain things that are important on a corner, being obviously the corner visibility triangle, and as such staff do not have any concerns and are recommending that the application be approved.
Thank you. Would the applicant like to speak on behalf of this application? No? That's all right. Do we have anyone online that would like to speak?
Yeah, we do have the applicant's representative online. If
Okay.
you'd like to add anything, you're welcome to use the raise hand feature, but obviously not necessary if you don't wish to speak. Okay. He raised his hand, so I'm just going to add him to the meeting. Just one second. Carson, you can go ahead. I think you've been added to the meeting here.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. I apologize. I was just making sure that I was able to be heard if necessary. Cameron, you did an excellent job there. Thank you for describing the information that you did describe is pretty much bang on. And I thank you for being so clear. I just wanted to make sure that I did have the availability to speak because I tried to a couple times there and I was unable to. So thank you for that. What you did say is pretty on point. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. Do the committee members have any questions for the applicant? Seeing none, could I have a motion from the committee to approve this application? Ms. Lalonde, seconded by Mr. Roth. All in favor? And that motion is carried. And that will actually conclude, we do have to approve our minutes from our last meeting. So can I get a motion to approve those minutes? Ms. Lalonde, seconded by Ms. Kohler. All in favor? And I think we got that carried. Thank you. And that concludes our meeting for tonight. Thank you.